everybody. I'm Stephanie Osteen with Ghost Stories because everybody has one.
I'm Susan Townsend.
I'm Sarah Diamond.
And we're so glad that you came back to our channel. This is our first guest that we have here, and it is our mother. So thanks for being on, Mom. This is Joyce Neesmith. She's our mom, and she has a few stories when we would talk about ghost stories, she would hear us, and then every now and then she would say, you know, I had something weird happen. And a lot of it happened after our father died, or the stories that you're going to talk about now. So do you want to start with some of the stories? Why don't we start with the story that happened at Vandy's?
Okay, that happened. We were the day after we had buried Steve on Saturday, and then we had Christmas Day on Sunday, and then the next day was Monday, and we were just real tired of being home and needed to get out, and I had some things to do in town anyway. So we decided to go to Vandy's and to have lunch, and all of us were around the big round table in Vandy's, and I was sitting by my little grandson who was in a high chair, and I had a water glass in front of me, and I was just talking to the girls about how, why did their dad have to leave so soon, and that, it'd be nice to know that he was okay, that he had gone to heaven, and we would just like to know what happened. And I said, wish he would send us a sign. So we were sitting there, and I took a drink of my water out of my glass, and I put it down on the table, and just as I did that, the glass just moved back toward me. I had to catch it to keep it from falling in my lap.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that was a sign from Steve to say that he was okay, because when we moved the glass back where it belonged, there was no water condensation that could have made it slide.
Right. Yeah. I remember you caught it, and then you looked at all of us, and you went, "Did y'all see that?"
Yeah.
And it was like literally, y'all, she had to catch the cup, and I mean, it was like a good 2-3 inches. It slid.
Oh yeah.
At least.
Well, maybe,
it could have been more. I'm
more.
just bad with space, but it was.
Yeah.
It was definitely, and it was like immediately after
Yes.
Mom had said, I wish that he would give us a sign. And if you knew anything about Steve Brown, you would know that I can see him doing that and like giggling, laughing at it, like, here's your sign.
And the table wasn't tilted.
No,
No,
the table,
it
nobody else
wasn't.
is, and they only did it that one time.
Right.
Right.
So it was weird the way it happened so fast. So that was really interesting. And then you had another time with a door or something after Daddy passed
Yeah,
away?
I had something happen with my bedroom door. The girls stayed with me. Somebody stayed with me the first month after Steve passed away. And so when they decided to leave and I was home alone, I put a nightlight in the hallway. And the nightlight bothered me a little bit because I had moved. I changed to the other side of the bed. And so I decided I would close the door a little bit to let it, so the light wouldn't bother me so much. So I would push the door shut, and I'd get back in bed, and in a few minutes it would just open back up real slow. Mm-hmm. And so then I would go back and I'd push the door shut, and then it would open back up. And every night I would go to bed. I finally gave up, but every night I'd go to bed and I'd still try to push the door shut so that the light wouldn't bother me, and then in a few minutes it would just open back up. Well, during this time, these few months, Steve's father was real ill, and so the night that I had been to see after he passed away, I went to see his sister, and when I got home, I came home and got in bed, turned up, did my routine, went and closed the door, and that night the door never opened back up and still doesn't open up anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting to me.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
So I guess the point is, you guys, is that there is some comfort in knowing that, and again, I touched on this the last episode, we just sort of romanticize a little bit that, this are signs that Dad is with us, or that he was with Mom until his dad had to transition over. And so those are great thoughts, and I enjoy getting to let our minds go there.
Yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm. And so then I think you had one more story, and it was another story thinking about Dad. I think it was
Right.
at a funeral.
Yes, it was about 6 months after Steve passed away that one of my good friends' husbands was killed in an automobile accident, and I decided to go to the funeral. It was the first funeral I had been to after Steve's funeral, and I went in and I sat with two other good friends of mine. We were sitting on the pew, and the funeral was just about over, and the preacher wanted to have the benediction. So I was really upset. This whole funeral thing had really upset me, and I was shedding a lot of tears. And when he said, "Bow your head for prayer," I put my head down and I adjusted myself and I crossed my legs. Well, I looked down, and the girls on each side of me had their feet flat on the floor. Anyway, I bowed my head and closed my eyes, and he was preaching, and he was saying the prayer, and the girl, all of a sudden, something just hit my foot and kicked my foot real hard, and my foot came off my knee. And at that moment, I opened my eyes, and both my girlfriend's feet were still flat on the floor. And I just assumed that was your daddy telling me that I was okay and not to be so upset.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, because like you totally felt your foot like somebody had just like kicked you, like they were.
Exactly, it felt like a kick, like somebody hit my foot and knocked my foot off my leg.
Yeah. Wow. I like those stories. I really
Yeah, those are
do.
good stories.
And ever since we've, the last few episodes that we've done, we've gotten some messages from some people. So those are really the kind of we really love hearing those stories. So, those are some of my favorite stories to hear. What do y'all think?
I've enjoyed hearing people stop me in the hallway at class, or I teach school, or in the hallway at my other job, and they'll have to share with me their ghost story. Or this last week, after we posted the 5 knocks story, which was my story, they all thought they'd be funny, and when they came around to my room, they knocked on the door 5 times.
So if you like those stories, we want to hear more from you guys.
Please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notifications so that you'll be notified whenever we drop a new episode.
If you have any stories to share with us, you can email us at sisterghoststories@gmail.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook. We are Ghost Stories because everybody has one.
And if you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.